Hey guys, what's up? Daniel here with Dark Gadgets. So we're doing an unboxing of the Samsung Galaxy S5 for AT&T. Now this phone just came out today and it retails for $200 on a 2-year contract and about $700 off contract. But let's go ahead and get right to this. This is the box right here and it has a very wood-like feel to it, which is kind of nice. And we also get all the information on the back on what new specifications it has and all of its new features. But let's go ahead and get right into this box. The first thing we are greeted here with is a quick start guide, which just kind of tells you some basic information about how to customize it, how to check notifications, and things like that. Second thing we have here is, of course, the device itself, which this one is the white model, but it also comes in black for AT&T, and I believe there's also gold and blue in different parts, or for different carriers and then different parts of the world. But yeah, we pull this tab right here, and we get nothing there. We get two more pamphlets here. One is the information guide, and this is just telling you about Smart Switch, which is the easy way to transfer content to your Galaxy device, and you can switch from an iOS device. That is, well, that's what's pictured on there, but I'm assuming it's another Android device. But yeah, and in here we're also going to get the headphones here, which are, you know, your typical regular headphones. We also get a battery, of course, for the device. You can't really use it without that. We get the power brick right here to connect to the wall, and then from here you connect the USB to your device, and then this is the USB cable lastly in the box. Now it uses this connection right here, which is what Samsung uses, which I'm still not a fan of. I would really like for them to use micro USB so that everything can be charged with that, but it doesn't look like we're going there anytime soon. Let's put all that aside and check out the phone here. So let's pull out the battery here. Now as far as specs goes, this is running Android 4.4.2, and let's actually remove these films so you guys can see it correctly. And there we go. So let's pull off, okay, another sticker. Let's pull off the back here. And here we go. This is the back. And what's cool is that this case, or the actual phone itself, is water resistant. So you can see this lining around here, and that's kind of like what the LifeProof has if you've ever seen one of those. So when you put the back on it, it's actually protecting that from getting water inside, which is pretty cool. If you're going to take this to a pool or something, you don't have to get or worry about it getting wet or anything like that, because it won't break. But yeah, we go ahead and just place the battery right in there like so, and it's in there. But before you do that, I forgot, you actually have to install your SIM card. So you just put it right up here, and right on top of that is where the micro SD card goes, so that you can increase the 16 gigabyte storage up to 128 gigabytes, which is just amazing. And it's an awesome feature that iPhones do not have, which I just think is awesome. Now this back right here, let me go ahead and boot this up real quick. And there we go. Powered by Android Galaxy S5. Now this back right here is kind of pearly. It has like little indentations all along the way. It's kind of perforated, I guess you could say. And it actually feels a lot better than the backing of the Galaxy S4, at least in my opinion. This feels a little bit more high-end, a little bit better quality than the previous generation Galaxy, because it just feels a little bit more like the Note, which just feels more like a business or a classic, good quality phone instead of the regular cheap plastic that you get. Now these sides here are not metal; those are plastic painted that looks like metal. It'd be nice if it was, but the phone does have an overall better feel than the previous generation. It just feels a whole lot better. It feels a lot higher quality. Now the display here is 5.1 inches, which is slightly larger than the last one, and it actually does make the phone a lot bigger. The other one felt a little bit more comfortable to hold in the hand because of the smaller size. The sides on this have increased a little bit, and so have the top and bottom. More the top and bottom than the sides. But yeah, it just feels a lot more like the Note 3. And now this white one, I actually thought the white one wouldn't look nice, but this actually does look pretty nice, a lot better than I thought it would. Alright, so in the back here we have a 16 megapixel camera that shoots up to 4K video. We also have the flash and the heart rate sensor. Now the 4K video is limited to 30 frames per second. And we also have an AT&T logo right there, which is nice and small, which is good because I'm not a big fan of big branding. We also have a Galaxy S5 logo down here, and we have the speakers. Now the fact that the speakers are back here is really a downside, because when you're watching movies or playing games, you're gonna notice that you have to basically cup your hands or hold the device in a certain way so you don't muffle a sound and so that you hear it louder than you would if you just were holding it like this. On the front here we also get a 2 megapixel still shooter and video recorder, or you can use it for whatever you want, that camera, I guess. We have these sensors right here, the speakerphone, or not the speakerphone, but you know, where you listen to people talk. And yeah, this is the main home screen right here. We have the back button and this menu button right there, and the main home button right there. Now we do have fingerprint sensing now, or as I should say, fingerprint scanning. Now the thing about this is that it doesn't work as well as the one on the iPhone 5S. Now I'm not trying to belittle that one on here. It works just fine. I mean, if I scan my finger, nope, let's go again. If I scan my finger, it works just fine most of the time. Sometimes it doesn't work because you do have to scan it in the same way that you scan your finger when you first register it. So if I go like this, it's never going to pick it up. Now what I did was set it up two ways. So I set it up this front way, and I also set it up sideways. And there we go, see? So if you can set up to 3 fingerprints. So what I did was use 2 of those to set up my fingerprint, the same fingerprint twice, so that I get more accuracy most of the time. And that really helped it out for more accuracy most of the time, which is great. So if you get this, that's something to consider, unless you have 2 other people you want to give or put their fingerprint on here. But yeah, it's the setup process is just like the one on the iPhone 5S if you've ever done it. It's just that I like the fact that you can turn the phone upside down and still scan your finger, and that works. Now as far as the specs go, we have a Qualcomm Snapdragon in here and an Adreno 330, but it's really not about specs. I mean, I'm not a person that goes for the specs. I really like just for it to perform well. The Moto X really was one of those. It didn't have top of the line specs, but it performed like a boss, which is awesome. I love that phone. So don't base your phone purchase on this. I mean, there's really going to be no difference between the International and this model. You know, there are some difference in specs, but in real world use, odds are that 90% of it or 99% of this is going to run just as well on both phones. Now I have encountered a few issues with this. It's just that sometimes there's a little bit of lag, but it was just a few times. But I just decided I would note that since I've only been using this for 2 days. But everything runs great. FIFA 14, Asphalt 8, Cut the Rope ran well, 2048 ran well. And yeah, I ran some benchmarks on it just to see that, but that's not really too important. Now this is running Android 4.4.2 with their latest TouchWiz user interface, which has significantly improved over the years since I last used it. And it's a lot more simple, a lot more flat. I still would prefer the full Android experience on this, but it's not bad. This phone actually comes with S Health, which is basically a, why did I say okay? Let's go back, which is basically a Fitbit for your phone. Now this is going to track steps, calories, and what you eat if you input it in there. And you can actually check your heart rate, which is one of the things that they are advertising all over the place, is that you can check your heart rate sensing, or you can check your heart rate with this sensor. But yeah, we put our finger right there and you can see it lit up red. And you can actually just do this on basically any phone. If you download an app, it uses the flash and the camera, and you just put your finger on there. And it'll be nearly just as accurate, if not the same. There we go. I did not keep my finger correctly still, so now we have to go through this process again. But yeah, I mean, it works. It'll tell you your beats per minute, or what, you know, the closest thing it can find. I'm not sure how accurate it is, but I'm sure it's pretty close. But yeah, you do have a lot of little features in this device. You can actually swipe to the left and then right, and then you can rescale the size of the screen so that you can use it with one hand. Now, I really would never use this because there would be no point in paying for a big phone if you're not going to use the full size, but I guess in some occasions I understand one would need to, just use this part of the screen maybe for certain things. You also have, let's see here, the ability to, where's the photos, photos to show you, or let's go Flipboard. So you can actually just overlay your finger right on top of this, and it's going to give you a little bit more information about that right there. So I'm not actually touching the screen, I'm hovering right over it. And this isn't a feature right here. This isn't a feature specific to this phone, but I just thought I would point that out since it's in there. Now if we go to gallery, we also have the ability to actually swipe through photos like this. There we go. And you can just wave your hand like this, and you can also do that in the web browser so that you can scroll through pages from the top to the bottom without having to touch the phone. And this can come in handy if you're looking at a recipe and cooking, cooking so you don't get your phone dirty. So I mean, it has a lot of little features like this that aren't necessarily needed, but could one day, maybe down the line, at some point in time, be useful. But yeah, as far as the battery life goes, it has a 2800 milliamp hour battery, which is enough to last you the whole day of good use, and not into the next day, which is just what's great about all these big phones, is that have really great battery. This back is removable, and the phone actually comes in only as 16 gigabytes, but you can expand the memory with an SD card up to 128 gigabytes, which is just phenomenal, because that's something I can't do with my iPhone, which would be great if I could. The battery, or not the battery, but up here we have the SIM card and the SD card, as I said. And one of the other advertisement points of this phone is that it's water resistant. Now, a lot of YouTubers have made water resistant tests. They've put it in buckets, they've thrown them in pools, and yeah, it can survive that. It might get some water inside, but it can pretty much survive any casual water thrown at it. I wouldn't recommend just swimming with this for 30 minutes. That would be a terrible idea, and most likely your phone will break. But yeah, you can kind of see there's lines right here. If you've ever seen a life-proof case, that's kind of like what it is. So once you put it on here, you can see how the lines match up to these corners right there, and that'll keep the battery and all the internals as safe as possible. And right there we have that speaker that's on the back. And some videos said that when you put it on the water, everything's perfect, except that the speakers sound muffled for some time, and I could see why. But yeah, guys, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions whatsoever about this phone, about what it does, about what it can do, anything whatsoever, feel free to message me. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I'll help you out with anything that you need help with. And you can actually contact me on the website, or just send me a message on Twitter or on YouTube, and I'll get back to you. But yeah, guys, that's it for this video. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Goodbye.